Hello, and today we will continue with the Taste of Fire. Our hostess said you were awake. I didn't really sleep. His office fellows doesn't like hearing this, but he doesn't comment on it, instead looking to my hand. I'm surprised you feel like being up at all. It was my hand that got hurt, Val, not my feet. For a moment he's quiet, but then the dragon lets out a soft, laughing at Jordan. As nice as it is to have someone be this worried about me, about my well-being, I know Valos will let himself get carried away if I don't put a stop to it now. Joking about what happened seemed like a start. It's not just my hand. And don't pretend otherwise, Sam. I've seen men have the rest for days after injuries like yours. I'm fine, Valos, really. The dragon regards me quietly before sighing and sitting on the empty bed. All right, I am grateful that you worry, but this, I held up my bandage's hand, will heal soon enough. Yes, I suppose it will. Anyway, I wanted to speak with you about something else. I sit next to him and spread the map across my thighs. Valos leans closer to me so he has a better view of it, causing my heart to beat faster due to his sudden proximity. I can practically feel his breath on my skin. I've been thinking about where we should go now that all this is over. You mean now that we're no longer welcome? I sigh at the sudden tension in the room. The way Valos tightens his fist as he speaks. Obviously, he's still unhappy with the outcome. Not that I, not that I don't understand, but not that I don't understand. Even though Herschel has good reasons, I can hardly bring myself to be resentful given all the damage he caused. At the end of the day, like it or not, everything has happened because of me. Fellow stutters a little when I touch my forearm, but he doesn't move away, instead looking at me in surprise. Hey, remember when we first met? I was on my way to begin my journey out into the world. If anything, we're just getting back on track now. It was never my plan to be stuck at an end, recovering from this or that injury, so this is a good thing. At first, I'm unsure if I'm getting through to him, but Valos finally smiles and takes my hand in his. I blink and avert my gaze to hide the blood creeping up my neck. You're right, again. He doesn't let go, and neither do I. Instead, using my injured hand to gesture at the map and tell him of the destinations I think might suit us best. The dragon listens to me talk, nodding along. He's wearing a slight smile. I think I know where we should go first. Yeah? The dragon nods again and letting go of my hand, starts tracing a path on the map with his finger. I feel myself getting distracted. However, as I continue to look at his face, it's nice that he looks pleased, even excited, instead of the worried expression I've been seeing so much lately. Sitting this close, our sides touching, having held his hand just moments ago, I really want to lean closer in and kiss him. I began to do just that. I've wanted to do this for a long time. He hasn't noticed being still focused on the map. But right as he looks at me, eyebrows raised, a memory invades my mind, and I hastily turn my head aside. Wilson said I should tell Valos what I saw, and he was right. I feel that I can't sit here contemplating kissing this man until I've been honest with him. Hey Valos, there's been something else that I wanted to talk with you about for a while now. What is it? I remember when Wilson first got here and you left to speak with him, and I saw you two in the broom closet, and I'm staring down at the floor in the effort to hide my shameful expression while avoiding seeing his right now. I still left immediately, but I didn't then. The silence that follows is only broken by Valos trying to stutter out a response before giving up. For several long moments, the only sounds filling the room are our breathing. With every passing second, I grow more anxious. I feel that I need to explain more, tell him that I don't blame him for seeking Wells's company while trying to justify my decision at once instead of leaving. Not that I have a good justification for that. I open my mouth to say something, then close it without uttering a sound. It's Valos who finally breaks the silence with a protracted sigh. Would you, like to go outside, maybe? To talk about this, I mean? Sure. As we stand up, I take a look at his face. Valos doesn't look angry. The only emotion I can detect on his face, mirroring mine, is worry. We shuffle down the stairs, finding Wells and Herschel sitting at one of the tables, talking. Valos informs them that we're going to take a short break. The Red Dragon gives me a nod, and I wave back before the two of us make our way towards the back door. I breathe in the evening air, but before I have a chance to say anything, Valos is already heading towards the forest, towards the same dirt path we started out on when we went to the hot springs. The continued silence nods at me, however, so I decided to speak up. It wasn't so bad, man. I shouldn't have been surprised. Valos stops under a thick oak tree, looking around as if to confirm nobody's around, before turning his face to me. I had no idea you knew, but I promised Sam I wasn't trying to hide anything. The truth is, I wanted to bring it up before I could just never find a good time. I know it's different for you. Different, what do you mean? For humans, it's something I remember, from what I learned. I know sex isn't something your kind considers acceptable, not without merits. So I've been worried that you want to end all this if you knew. I don't immediately realize what he's talking about, but when I do, I can't contain my laughter. Sam? Val, almost nobody takes that seriously. Half the talks at the tavern were someone bragging about who they had bedded the night prior, and most of them were unwed. Oh, even in the dim light, I can tell the dragon is embarrassed, but he chuckles in response. I see. I feel like an idiot now. I suppose I should have just asked you about your feelings regarding matters like that. No, I think I understand. And well, to tell you the truth, I think I was already feeling some kind of way about you because when I saw you in Wellston back then, I felt a little envious of them, especially because I doubted you felt the same way about me. Finally admitting all this is more difficult than I thought, but while I feel a slight relief at finally putting it out there, I still can't force myself to look Valos straight in the eye as the words leave my mouth. The dragon meanwhile laughs, startled. I notice he's smirking. Perhaps Yusuf joined in them. It's my turn to stutter in. Perhaps Yusuf joined in then. It's my turn to stutter incoherently. Is he serious? Valos chuckles and places one hand gently on my shoulder. Sorry, Sam. I'm not trying to embarrass you. Hearing that makes me relieved. Actually, with how little I know of humans and how unsure I had been about your own feelings, I let my urges take control back then. Had I known how you felt, I would have restrained myself. No, as I said, I didn't mind. You had every right to seek someone else's company. I prefer yours. Again, his comment makes me blush, but I nod gratefully. How long did you feel that way about me? I don't know. What I mean to say is, you're very... I go. I was attracted to you right away, but then I learned you're a good person too, and now... Val cocks an eyebrow. Yes? I look into his amber eyes before another stray thought has a chance to stop me. I push myself to the tips of my toes, close my eyes and part my lips slightly in. We meet in a kiss. I feel Valos use his other arm to brace my back as he holds me in place. I lose myself in the embrace, barely daring to breathe. It's all I wanted, his mouth warmth emanating from within, the soft scales of his snout brushing up against my skin. He pursed his lips even more. I'm not even startled when his moist tongue touches my lips. I welcome the sensation, and then it's over. I open my eyes. Our faces more inches, our faces mere inches from each other, Valor smiling at me gently. Only now I realized I had put my hands on his waist at some point during the kiss and let them fall to my sides. Despite a sudden feeling of awkwardness, I returned the dragon's smile. That kiss held the promise of more. I really liked it. My voice is small, but Valor sighs. I'm glad because I did all. I'm glad because I did as well. Hearing that makes my heart swell. Well, we should head back to the inn, I suppose. It's getting dark. I'm going to relieve myself quickly first, if you don't mind. I just nod and watch Valos walk into the bushes. My head is still lost in the sensations from moments ago. So much so that I'm already thinking about greeting the dragon like that as soon as he reappears. But my plans are cut short. I'm freezing shock as a piece of cloth slides down my head. My startled cry is muffled, and before I can even begin to process what's happening, I feel myself get hoisted up into the air. I jolted awake at the sound of nearby thunder. Immediately, I noticed unnaturally dark surroundings. It wasn't until raindrops began to fall that I realized my upper body was stuffed inside a bag. Cursing my luck, I thought it was all over after being captured yet again. Val, well, anyone? I suspected there was no response. I made several attempts to break free, but they didn't lead to anything, also as expected. The bag muffled most of my screams, making it difficult to communicate with anyone outside. Still, I wasn't going to give up. I tried several times to wriggle free, but my efforts were in vain. The bag held me captive in rope, and there seemed to be no way out. You will not get away with this, scoundrels. Once Val finds out what happened, you're all dead. To my surprise, I felt someone grab me roughly by the shoulder and heard a low growl of anger. Suddenly, the bag was pulled off my head. I was blinded by the sudden burst of light. So, you know him, human? A female voice demanded. I struggled to focus my vision, but eventually made out the silhouette of a dragon looming over me. Then spill it. Where is he? Where is my brother? For a moment I was taken aback. Val had a sister who was a dragon. I couldn't believe my luck, but as the reality of the situation set in, I couldn't help but find the situation humorous. Despite the danger I was in, I couldn't help but be amused by the irony of the situation. Here I was, a captive of Val's own sister. And the dragon grew more frustrated with my lack of communication. I found myself struggling to find the right words. The situation was so absurd, it was hard to know what to say. She continued to demand answers from me, a frustration mounting with each passing moment. Don't play dumb now. I know that you know where he is. As he spoke, I noticed another figure lurking in the shadows behind her. This one was more reptilian in appearance, resembling a crocodile. My situation was going from bad to worse. Hey, I'm talking to you. Or do you want me to force it out of you? I'm sorry, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I was just a bit surprised is all. For a moment she seemed taken aback by my response. Don't you understand the situation you're in now? Actually, I understood it all too well, but I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of knowing that. It is not that, I said, trying to sound reasonable. Why do you have to resort to such methods when you know he is somewhere nearby anyway? Because you were the only lead I had so far. I've been searching for him for months. I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. As she had been searching for him for months, then she was most likely not an enemy, or one that wished harm on Val. I hope. He was with me just before you kidnapped me. Actually, if you had waited a bit longer, you would not even have to go to such lengths to finally meet him. He was just a few steps away, relieving himself. The crocodile in the background chuckled at my words, but the dragons didn't seem to find them funny. Instead, he saw and started glaring in the crocodile's direction, clearly not amused. Did he tell you anything about us? Barely anything, aside from the fact that he was forced to run away because of a political massacre that you guys caused. Actually, he does not seem to be fond of his heritage. What? That's a lie. You would never leave any. You would never leave everything behind for some human. She appeared to have misunderstood me and come to a completely wrong conclusion. It didn't seem like she was willing to listen to anything I had to say. Regardless, I promised to lead you to Val if you need. No, I don't trust you. You humans just manipulated him to lead us. What? Humans manipulated a dragon? This dragon is delusional. I wanted to retort, but before I could, she completely lost it. Together with her partner, they tied me up to a nearby tree. So, why don't you call for your savior now? I felt a surge of anger as the whole situation felt like a ludicrous farce. Thankfully, just as I was about to give up hope, I heard a loud quack nearby. As soon as the female dragon turned to look, a large tree suddenly fell on her, knocking her to the ground. After a few seconds, Val finally appeared. So, it's you, Valeria. Her name sounded surprisingly similar, which I suppose is something that the dragon bloodline shared. Valeria had a strong personality, even though she was hurt to some degree. She rejected her partner's help and tried to get up on her own. What the hell, Val? What do you think you are doing? Despite realizing it was his own sister, Val didn't stop, advancing in battle position, ready to defend himself. More importantly, how did you find me and why? It took a while for Valeria to regain her composure. They take you back, obviously. Why the hell do you even run away? Because I don't want to be involved in the political squabbles. I couldn't remain there any longer. It was too dangerous. You're kidding me. That was your reason? No, I'm not. Leave us alone and tell no one about us. I noticed Val nervously scanning between me and Valeria, his mind similarly racing as he strategized a way out of the tense situation. Valeria's anger was palpable. I half expected her to breathe fire. However, after a few moments, she visibly forced herself to calm down. She lowered her guard and began to approach Valo slowly, her body language showing no signs of aggression. Though I remained vigilant, it appeared that she had no ill intentions. I'm sorry, Valos. I let the anger get the better of me. As he takes his hand, Val seems to find himself unable to act. Let us try again, shall we? We haven't talked for quite some time. After all, I miss you, brother. At that moment, I felt somewhat relieved that this didn't escalate further. Hey, Val, can you give me a hand? Sorry, Sam. Despite not noticing any change of expression, I could almost feel her annoyance as Val moved closer to untie me. Nevertheless, he didn't stop him. You seem to form quite a bond with that human. For how long have you known him? How did you meet him? He wasn't a useless freeloader, was he? She continued to ask him various questions about his relationship with me. However, he silently continued untying me without saying a word. Naturally, I noticed he got a little irritated with her. Valeria approached Val slowly, her expression softening as he spoke. Oh, Val, don't be like this. I really wanted to find you. She paused for a moment before continuing, her voice quieter. Speaking of, why did you actually leave us? You don't have to lie to me. We're family, you know. Have you gone deaf? I already told you I want no part of your political games. If you don't believe me, that's your problem. Well, that response was explosive. His words were sharp and angry, filled with pent-up frustration. As Valus continued to speak, I couldn't help but feel moved by his words. It was clear that he had been hurting for a long time, and no one had bothered to listen to him. I was always just a trinket for you that was meant to represent the face of the family. No one cared about my well-being. You were always a scapegoat for everything I was blamed for. Why do you still care? Mother and father have always treated me like a mere pawn to be moved around on their board with no regard for my own feelings or desires. It's hard to care for people who see you as nothing but a tool to be used for their own gain. They won't even make you heir. Shouldn't that be enough for you to see? He shook his head, his eyes downcast as he continued. I don't know how much longer I can take it. I won't keep living my life like that, always being manipulated and used by those who are supposed to love and care for me. Valeria listened intently to her brother's words, her expression shifting from surprise to sadness. I know it will be difficult for you, Valos, but you can't run away forever. We did realize how hard it was for you, but I promise we'll support you from now on. At that moment I spoke up. If I may, I'm still not completely aware of what happened between you or your family, but if you decide to return, I would be happy to support you, Val. Well, I would be happy to support you regardless of your decision. The tension in the room seemed to dissipate slightly, and for a moment there was a glimmer of hope that things could improve between Val and his family. Val, however, only sighed in response. I'm sorry I took such extreme measures to find you, Valos. You must understand how important it is to me. But you have to come with us. You can bring a human along too. His name is Sam. Sam can come along too. It would be more safe back home than here. Her change in tone surprised me, and for a brief moment I felt hopeful that the conflict would come to a peaceful resolution and reconcile Valos with his family, but my hopes were quickly dashed. Oh, more safe? Valos only chuckled in response. I couldn't help but worry about the direction Valos was taking the conversation with his harsh words. Valeria seemed dumbfounded, and Valos didn't seem interested in giving her another chance. Let's go, Sam. It's about time we get back to the inn. We leave and head back onto the path, ignoring Valos's words. I trust Val with my life, but surely he's been a bit too harsh, completely dismissing his own sisters. Please. I wanted to ask Valos so many questions, but I didn't know where to start or how to approach the situation we had walked away from. Thankfully, he was the first to speak. Are you hurt, Sam? Oh no, I'm fine. Your hand? Still intact. Yeah. Thank the gods. Sorry you got wrapped up in all this. Valos apologized, showing a softer side. Well, at this point, it is probably safe to say I have been through worse. Still, I started off wanting to ask Valos about his strained relationship with his sister. Why treat your own sister with such hostility? Valos didn't look entirely surprised by my question. I'm surprised you wanted to treat her differently after what she did to you. It's not that, it's just you are a family. I thought you, had to stick up for each other. And yes, I knew you were on pretty bad terms with your family, but when Valeria told you they needed you, I thought you would finally reconnect with them. Val was studying me for a while. I felt as if I was being inspected like a child who was about to do something stupid every time you lost sight of them. Maybe I am involving myself too much. Val said he left his family for his own safety. I should just drop it and leave it at that. I admire your kindness, Sam, but it's also your weakness. It makes you very susceptible to manipulation. I don't even doubt Valeria's counter on it during her lectures about family. As much as I disliked his words, was he right? You know what, Val? You're right. I have been trying so hard to find my own family and to understand how they work so I can keep one for myself. But maybe I have been going about it the wrong way. I just want you to be safe, Sam. Family can be complicated, and sometimes it's not worth sacrificing your own well-being for. I appreciate your concern, Val. You have always been looking out for me, and I know I can be naive at times. That's because I care about you, Sam. I don't want to see you get hurt. I didn't choose the family I was born into. None of us do. But we can choose the people who we want to be with now, who we will call family. Val places his hand on my shoulder, and his yellow eyes narrow onto me. I know, and I'm grateful for that. I just do not want to lose you. I just thought that helping you reunite with your family can help you. If I were in your situation, I would want someone to do that for me, regardless of my own feelings. Say if I were to find your parents, would you want to meet them? Because I recall you saying otherwise. Hey, that's not fair. Your family want to find you, whereas mine left me. Val sighs in response. I know. I'm sorry, Sam. It's alright. I know you are just trying to make me understand. He doesn't immediately respond, remaining deep in thought. Whatever he decides, I'll stay by him. Thank you, Sam. I'm lucky to have you by my side. We'll figure this out together. Let's just head back to the inn for now. I agreed, and the slight tension dissipated. I must admit, I really wanted to visit your home. In Village Books, your home is described as awe-inspiring. Trust me, it isn't any more welcoming than anywhere else, or different for that matter. So we're better off going to another destination. Yeah, right. Well, it seems like we got our work cut out for us. I was about to ponder this out loud when Val suddenly stopped. Sam, behind you! And before I could react, I felt a giant shadow tower over me. The next thing I knew, I was grabbed by someone and taken off the ground. Val was trying to catch me, but to no avail. I struggled to break free myself, but the grip tightened even further. Quickly, there wasn't even a point to that, since I was way too far above the ground. Giving up, I tilted my head to look at my assailant, only to see Valeria's twisted smirk. Valeria, you... The way her eyes glittered with malice only made my blood boil. I wanted to say something more, but found it really hard to talk at such a height. Soon I found it difficult to even breathe, until eventually I blacked out. Eventually I woke up. I felt my head was still dizzy, so I tried to get a hold of myself. It was quite dark and my vision had to adjust, so I took a moment to rub my eyes. When I finally regained my senses, I noticed bars behind me and stone walls all around. Once I realized where I was, dread consumed me. I immediately called out for anyone, but no one responded. Damn it. I hit the floor in anger and frustration. I tried my best not to panic, but instead I channeled all my emotions toward Valeria. All I could remember was her smug face as she lifted me up. I felt so much hatred towards Valeria and towards myself. How stupid I was to feel even an ounce of sympathy for her. Val was right. I'm nothing but a naive fool. Now, not only am I in yet another trouble, but one I have no chance of getting out of my own. Eventually I heard the footsteps of bare feet. It was her, wearing a mocking smile on her face, accompanied with two guards behind her, and felt my heart sink. She slowly opened the door and entered the cell. Greetings, human. Hope you had a nice sleep. In that moment I remembered my dagger, but realized it had been taken. Trying to suppress my rage, I spoke. Where is Val? What is the meaning of this? Release me at once. Valeria only laughed in response. Release? After all the trouble I've gone through? Are you a complete idiot? Do you actually think I will do as you ask? I'm not sure if you're naive or just stupid. After she calmed down, she spoke more calmly. Sorry, but you are in no position to demand anything, and you are not going anywhere. It was quite a hassle to track you down, and now I will do whatever I desire with you. You are my slave, dear. Take him. As she commanded, two guards behind her entered the cell and took me by the arms. I tried to break free, but as I struggled, they yanked my limbs so hard I thought they were going to tear me apart. That was enough to stop me. Now, we don't want to kill him. Yet. As he said that, Valeria exited the cell. But enough of that. Get him moving already. I had no idea where I was being led to or how to get out of here. I felt completely helpless, and the only thing I was wondering now was if Val was alright and if I would ever see him again. The guard marched me down a dark corridor into another room where they chained me to a link on a walk protruding from one of the walls. As the dragon motions with her hand to dismiss them, the pair exits, leaving me alone with her. Comfortable, human? Perhaps you want to order me to release you again. My whole body trembles in rage as he laughs mockingly, but even enraged as I am, I know that I wouldn't be able to overpower her, even unchained. All I can do is glare at her, but that only serves to amuse her further. That is until she grabs me roughly by the hair and yanks my head back. Enough of that. You have one chance to answer my questions, human, before I decide that I've been too gentle with you. You'll tell me everything you know. Val already told you everything. Oh, I hardly think so. For one thing, I'm very curious to know why he allowed a puny human like you to call him that. Worm your way into his bed, did you? Again, she lets out her mocking laugh. I feel like the anger surging inside the room going to choke me. Where is he, and where did you bring me? Ignoring my questions, she paces up and down the chamber. I don't have much time to bring my wayward brother back to where he belongs, so don't try my paces, human. Our parents expect this little hunt to be successful soon. The contrast of her aunt and the force of her behavior now is truly threatening to send me over the edge. I can see now why Val warned me not to trust you. Oh, did he now? Again, the mocking laughter growing louder as I struggle against the change. But then she stops, her tone suddenly serious, and her next question causes me to freeze as well. What house did you belong to? I blink, not understanding what she's trying to say. House? How long do you intend to play stupid with me, human? This little ant is growing tiresome, don't you think? She thinks. I'm a noble? Or at least that I'll serve a noble house? But why? You are not going to get a word out of me. Not until Valos is here. Oh, I'm sure he will come. I'm counting on it. I suppose we shall see if you truly manage to fool my brother if he comes to rescue you, won't he? Again, I blink confused. Why does he want Valos to come here? Because he wants more men with her now? Surely she doesn't intend to make Valos come with her by force, or is he? I shouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but if so, coming to rescue me now would be the worst thing for Valos to do. The dread I feel at the thought must be plain on my face because Valeria gives me a malicious smile. She lowers her gaze to look at my body, noticing the parts of me that are still bandaged after the encounters with the bandits. Pain shoots through my arm as she suddenly grabs it, her fingers digging right into where I was wounded by the fox, causing me to scream. Although, see what damaged goods we have here. Maybe he won't care enough to come after all, She releases my hand, leaving me gasping, but then, just as suddenly, her hand strikes me across the face, snapping my head to the side. I feel the metallic taste of blood on my tongue. Speak, dear. Tell me, which house did you belong to? Who sent you? I suggest you speak before I decide to damage you further. I am not scared of you. Her grin is cruel, and I steel myself for what comes next as she begins to approach again. But then the door swings open, and one of the guard from earlier hurries to the dragon, whispering something in her ear. With her expression turning serious, Valeria nods and motions to leave. She pauses in the doorway, however, to address the guard. Make sure he doesn't try anything. She swings the wooden door closed behind her. It's now that I realize my wrists have started to bleed a little from the manacles where I had pulled on them, not to mention the bleeding from the wound Valeria just reopened. I'm left to wonder how Val could have a sister like this when he's one of the most gentle people I've ever met. Surprising that she managed to play the part of a concerned sibling so convincingly earlier at home. And can only hope that Valos is safe, and that she stays away from wherever this is, even he's my only hope of escape now. As much as deep down I want to be free from Valeria, I know that him coming here will only spread disaster. 7 minutes pass in silence, but then I hear muffled voices outside the chamber. I strain to listen, but it's impossible to make out what they're saying. It doesn't last long, though, as the door slams open and Valeria bursts in, looking furious. I have to leave for now, human, but I'll be back to continue our little chat shortly. You best find your tongue by the time I return, because my patience has very much run out. For a second, I allow myself to hope that she intends to leave me here alone, allowing me a chance to look for a way to escape. But her next words dash those hopes as she orders 2 of the guards to stay here and watch over me. As she storms out of the chamber, one of the guards approaches, linking the chain from the rock. Pulling me by the manacles, he drags me back to the cell where I woke up. I try to resist groaning in pain the whole time, but it's of no use. He shoves me roughly through the open cell door, and losing my balance, I fall on the hard floor on my shoulder. I quickly dismiss the thought of getting back up, too worn out to do anything. Lying on the floor, my breathing ragged, and let my thoughts race out of control. Where could Valeria have gone? No doubt something to do with Valos, yet if she expected him to show up here, why would she need to leave? One thing's clear, Valos is in danger, maybe not in mortal danger, but danger nevertheless. His cruel sister intends to drag him back to his so-called home regardless of his wishes. I only wish I could do something to stop her. Instead, here I am, mere bait for his sister to use to lure him into a trap. I try to distract myself from these worries, remembering Valos' gentle words as he took me away from her the first time. Remembering his warm embrace, remembering the kiss we shared in the woods. I wish I could be holding him right now, far from this place, far from his sister and the rest of his family. There's only the hope that somehow we'll both make it out. Others is all I could do right now. As minutes turn into hours, fatigue starts to set in. I cling to this very hope. Slowly, I drift off into a restless sleep. Be continued. Thanks for playing The Taste of Fire. Make sure to join our Discord server to keep up to date with The Taste of Fire. If you enjoyed this VM, please consider supporting it on Patreon. So that's everything so far in The Taste of Fire. Alright, so his sister is horrible. And she decided to make Sam her slave. So apparently she says she's gonna do whatever she wants with Sam, so yeah. I wonder where this cell is. I don't think we're in the Dragon Empire. I don't think it would be. It seemed like it was a short amount of time from where Sam got knocked out to this prison cell here. So maybe, I guess we're still in the general area where they were at. Like, not far from the end, but just, I don't know. Anyway, apparently, I guess, Valos has arrived at this place, this prison, which is why, Valeria got serious towards the end and left.
Now, this crocodile-looking guy, we don't see him in the, we don't see him at all, but he was the one that knocked Sam out and managed to stop Valos. So obviously, this crocodile is very strong. This crocodile is the reason that Valeria was able to have both Sam taken away. So she's using Sam to lure Valos to this prison so she can take him back to the Great Dragon Empire. So yeah, what Sam said about her, yeah, that was very naive of him. He admitted it himself that it's very naive of him to kind of criticize Valos for being cold to his sister. I mean, he knows her way more than you do, so. But the reason why he was so cold to his sister is because he's very cold as well. So I guess with people like that, you have to be cold back to them. So, alright, so I wonder if Relzin knows about what's going on here. I mean, has he been alerted as to what happened? I don't know. He may have no idea what happened at all. So we go from one big problem to another. Just when you think one problem, just when you solve one problem, another problem pops up. You know, those bandits, we were able to kill the fox and the rhino, so we didn't have to deal with them no more. Only for this to happen now, with his sister sewing up. So I wonder what's going to happen. Like I said in a previous video, could he possibly go to the Great Dragon Empire and try to change things and become the ruler himself, or maybe he'll try to go there and change things and maybe leave with Sam and head back into this area here and perhaps go further south. Or maybe he don't go to the Great Dragon Empire at all. Maybe he somehow manages to free Sam. But I think the big theme of the story here would be Valos and his family in the Great Dragon Empire. So I'm going to talk a bit about the characters. Sam, he's kind of naive, but what I do like about him as an MC is that he is capable of doing some things. He knows how to cook. He actually tried to teach Valos how to cook a little bit. That's what I like about this VN here, because a lot of VNs, especially with human MCs, they are portrayed as being people who can't do anything. They have no talent, no skills, and they just have to rely completely on the giant 7-foot tall furry love interest. And I like that in this game it makes Sam somewhat capable, though it's still kind of like has a lot of similarities to the whole puny human and big buff giant 7-foot tall furry guy. You know, the whole size difference and being inferior to just about everybody. I mean, I don't kind of like playing someone who's. I don't kind of like playing somebody in which everybody's bigger and stronger than you and more capable. I mean, kind of like it if the MC had more capabilities himself, but in a lot more of these the ends. But anyway, Valos, he is a very selfless character. He does not know Sam, but he risked his life to save him from the Rhino, and he took care of him at the end throughout all this time when he didn't have to. He could have just dropped him at the end and went back his business, but he spent all these days taking care of Sam. And that's very rare nowadays. Most people won't do that for you. They might save you and take you to the end, but that would be about it. They just go about their business. And there are probably a lot of people out here who wouldn't even have gone as far as trying to save Sam from the Rhino at all. They probably just look at what's going on and they just avoid the whole thing. Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with me, so I'm just going to keep walking. So that's probably how a lot of people are. They just let you get beaten up and kidnapped by somebody and do nothing about it. So Valos is like the character that we all want him to be. We all want more people to be like him. He's the type of character that people want more people to be, but unfortunately people aren't that way. People aren't that. People are very selfish these days, and they're all about themselves, just willing to do what's convenient for them. I mean, that's not entirely wrong. I mean, yeah, you gotta think about yourself often and do things that help yourself, but that doesn't mean you can just let somebody get harmed. I mean, sometimes you gotta think about somebody else for once. You know, you can't be selfish all the time. Sometimes you gotta think about others too. So I enjoy Valos as a character. Wilson, he seems to be a decent person. He doesn't have no shame in performing oral sex on Valos. So it's because the culture over there in the Great Dragon Empire is different, where sex out of marriage is okay, and same-sex marriage is okay too. While in the human areas, like where Sam is from, all that is frowned upon. So in Herschel, I do like him, though it kind of hurts that he wants Sam gone now. I mean, he says that Sam is not responsible. He doesn't really blame Sam, but technically he does. So we're done with the Taste of Fire for now. I have no idea when a new update will come out. It used to come out every couple months, but it hasn't gotten updated since July or June of this year. So it's been a while since there's been any updates. Hopefully it won't be too long, so that's all for the Taste of Fire for now. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.